It's time for a special program called The 11th Hour, featuring Hughes, Deputy Director of the Washington County Board of Behavioral Health. This weekly program will shed light on important issues in our area and the positive steps we're taking to combat them.
Good morning. This is Hughes with your local radio station, AM1490 WMOA, and I'm representing the Washington County Behavioral Health Board for the 11th hour, which comes to you on WMOA every Friday at 11:05. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful week that we've had here in the county. Ready for spring and ready for what's to come this weekend. So speaking of this weekend, I have a guest with me this morning, Leanne Price, who's currently the Vice President of the Suicide Alliance for Washington County. Good morning, Leanne.
Good morning.
So tell me a little bit about the Suicide Alliance here in Washington County.
The Suicide Alliance is, we want to provide prevention programs here in Washington County, and we also want to do more outreach programs for those who have lost their family members, coworkers to suicide.
Well, certainly you read in the newspaper every day horrific stories. It seems like there's an increase in the number of suicides. Would you say that that's something that your group is kind of looking at as well?
Yes. Washington County, fortunately, the numbers are down, but everywhere else, the numbers are a lot higher, but we have to still fight this battle with our kids today.
Well, certainly some of the efforts that you're working on must be making a difference, and that's wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up on Saturday.
Saturday, we have a Walk to Remember, and that is for people to remember those loved ones that they have lost. It's not just for the survivors, but we ask the community to come out and help support all of those people. It's also part of a prevention program that brings awareness to Washington County that suicide is still very much a problem.
So what time and where do people show up if they want to participate on Saturday?
You can start to register at 8:30. The walk is at 9. It is at the boat ramp, which is Indian Acres Park. It goes just to the bridge, so it's not a long walk.
So you're asking people to come and walk and remember their loved ones and write something down?
Yes, we give them a piece of chalk, and they can write their loved ones a message as they go, or they can write messages in the parking lot.
So tell me a little bit about the Bead Ceremony. I'd heard from people who attended this last year that there's a bead ritual. Talk to me a little bit about what that looks like.
There's different colors of beads. There's red, blue, gold, green, orange, purple, silver, and white and teal. Each one of those represent a family member, a loved one that's been lost to suicide. We have people that share their stories. It's very, very moving for the people that are telling their stories, plus the ones that are hearing their stories.
Now, are there other people that participate in this in terms of vendor tables or promotional tables?
Yes, we do have, I think, 11 vendors that are going to join us this year, and they will provide different information on what's available in Washington County.
So in terms of some of the behavioral health providers, could you give us some examples of some of the vendors that might be participating this weekend?
Yes, we have EVE, we have the Washington County Behavioral Health, we have Family and First Council, we have Right Path, we have HOPE, which is a support group for survivors. We have Life and Purpose. We have a booth by the Suicide Awareness Alliance, Hopewell, and Rigel.
So in terms of some of the other programs that your organization is involved in besides the Walk to Remember, talk to me about what you do around the holidays.
We do a Candlelight Vigil, which this will be, last year was our third year. Every year that grows, it impacts the survivors. It just slows down the holidays for the survivors when the world feels like it's spinning out of control at holiday time.
And that also occurs at Muskingum Park?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you find to be the most important aspect of the programs and the prevention and the education that you all are involved in for you personally? Is it the community? Is it the support of the community? Is it knowing that there are other people that, face similar challenges? What do you find to be the most fulfilling?
When I first lost my son to suicide, I felt like there was no place to go. I felt like counselors, I needed to talk to counselors that had been through a suicide because I didn't feel like they understood all the feelings that went with it firsthand. I think that's something that Washington County has improved on. I think support groups are very, very important, especially when you first lost someone, because the feelings that you have, the anger, the feelings of being so lost, your brain being scrambled, helps to connect to other survivors.
So what is the name and the location and the time of the support group that you all operate here in Washington County?
We have the HOPE group, and that stands for Help Other People Endure, and that meets at the River Family Christian Center at the second and fourth Mondays of every month at 5:30, and that address is 19025 State Route 339 Waterford.
And is that something, Leanne, that you have to register in advance to attend, or can you just show up to the support group?
You can show up at the support group. It's a very loving group, and everything that's said is confidential. Anyone that attends, it's open to anyone that has lost, whether it's a friend, family member, coworker, and I encourage anyone that's lost to just be a part of a group.
So how many people do you typically get to come to the support group?
We have anywhere from 12 to 15 members that attend.
Okay. Well, it sounds like your group is doing some really rewarding things. But before we end, I want to go back to what's coming up again this weekend on Saturday. Let's talk about numbers. What is your expectation based on the number of participants last year?
I think we had about 150 last year. This year we can already tell that the numbers are going to be increased because we have had sponsors that's reached out to us, and our sponsorship is already at an all-time high.
I know I've heard a lot of people talking that attended last year that are bringing people with them this year because they realized how valuable it was for them. And I know that some of the programs that you offer, including the support group, some people might not feel comfortable coming by themselves. So, I always encourage people, I'm sure you do as well, to bring a friend, to bring someone with you so that you feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yes, I agree. Always having someone in hand with you helps. We also have a memory table that you can bring a picture of your loved ones and put on the table, just so other people can see who you've lost and put a name with a face.
So this is a walk for awareness, a walk for prevention, a walk to remember. It's this Saturday at Indian Acres Park. Registration starts at 8:30. The walk begins at 9. How is it that people can register? What are the options?
Okay, you can access the registration form. Go to the Recovery is Beautiful Facebook page, or you can email Miriam Keith at wcbhb.org, or you can register there. Hope to see you there.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. There's signs all over the community. Please come out for this walk for awareness, walk for prevention, and walk to remember. This is Hughes with the Washington County Behavioral Health Board here at AM1490 WMOA, the 11th hour. Talk to you next week, Friday at 11:05.
Thanks for listening to the 11th Hour, a service of the Washington County Board of Behavioral Health. Tune in next Friday at 11:05 a.m. right here on WMOA for another edition of the 11th Hour.